Hi, my friends. This is Lada from Astrolada.com, and I'm here with your weekly horoscope for the last week of May, from the 29th of May till the 4th of June, basically. And I'm going to lead you through this week and what you can expect, and which signs have to be more careful, and which signs will benefit, and who will have a bit more difficulties as well. So bear with me. And just to remind you that this Sunday, I have my webinar all about Taurus. If you haven't grabbed your seat for all about Taurus, cabin now, it's only $29, and we'll look at everything Taurus, about their fate, about their relationships, why Taurus always tend to have much more turbulent relationships than others, and why, that we'll look at absolutely every single aspect of a Taurus life, and planets in Taurus, or having Taurus on a certain house cast. What does it mean? Where you can benefit? So come and join me. And the weekend after that, there is the webinar with Nicola Stojanovic, The Secrets of the Each Degrees. Amazing. I'm looking forward to that, to learn new things as well, to understand what each degree of the zodiac means. So now let's dive into this week astrology. Ooh, the week is starting. We're sending off May on a little bit of a tense note. And we are greeting the new month, June, with this very tense aspect between Saturn and Mars, which happens once every 2.5 years, when Saturn and Mars are opposite each other. And they're both enemies to each other, because Saturn is the old, Mars is the new. Saturn is like the old generation, Mars is the new generation with the new progressive ideas, and they're fighting, But not only that, Saturn rules our fears, and Mars rules where we want to break through, where our courage is. And Saturn is very much afraid of Mars. So when those two planets aspect each other, frustration happens in our life. And because this transit is a bit longer, it's about 7 days or 10 days in influence, because it takes the first 3 degrees until it completes, and 3 degrees until it falls apart. So we were under the Saturn-Mars opposition almost the whole this week that's going. And we have another week, which is going to be most intense on Monday, Sunday and Monday. But it's going to, the influence is going to spread into the week again after that, at least the first 3 days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And you see, it's an aggressive, quite aggressive opposition. You can see what happened in London, even though it wasn't exact when it happened with the terrorist explosion there. Not London, that was Manchester, sorry, in England. And but it's coming on. It was within 3 degrees, this opposition between Mars and Saturn, and unfortunately such difficult things tend to happen. And if it affected the world almost a week before the exact opposition, which is on Monday the 28th or 29th, sorry, is also has affected us on a personal level, with certain frustrations, with certain blockages and delays. It tends to usually bring frustrating moods and tempers from others, because it's an opposition. Opposition means like two energies or two factors or agents are battling it out. Everyone is pulling the rope towards themselves, so to speak. And usually the opposition shows confrontation with others. So maybe you've noticed like more frustrating moods and tempers that are coming to you from others, angry explosions, like Saturn tries to suppress Mars, the expression of anger, but it blocks it, and it builds up, and it can burst like a volcano as well. Felt maybe opposition to others, and it continues into next week, to the middle of next week. Maybe it can work out by someone trying to control you and forbid you something, because Saturn is regulations and rules and demands from others, and Mars is your actions. So maybe you felt like someone is trying to control your actions, or tell you what to do, or forbid you something. Or maybe you are the Saturn person, and you are trying to regulate things and control them, control the actions of others, and you're getting frustrated because you can't really control them. There's like rebellion coming from others, so there is more angry actions, or more reckless actions that are coming from others that you're trying to control and getting upset. You might be Mars, or you might be Saturn, but it's manifesting, and you might be also unable to do what you want because of judgment or rules. of some sort, of some regulations, some institutional regulations or rules from others that you have to comply with, and it's delaying the actions that you want to take, which is Mars. It's delaying the results of your fruits, or the ability to make a change in some sort, you know. So it's felt. Maybe not everyone will feel it so strongly. Mostly who will feel this very strongly, Geminis and Sagittarius will definitely feel that, because Mars and Saturn are in opposition in Gemini and Sagittarius. So will Virgo and Pisces feel it, because Virgo and Pisces are part, you know, of the mutable cross. So Saturn and Mars are in mutable signs, so they're affecting Gemini and Pisces as well. They're triggering them. Also, of course, people ruled by Saturn will feel it. Capricorns and Aquarians will feel that, so they feel more frustrated, maybe more angry, because Mars is irritating their ascendant lord, sun lord. And Aries and Scorpios will also feel it quite strongly, because Mars, their planet that rules them, is being affected by Saturn, this opposition. As I said, they're both enemy planets, so there is tension, you know. And so quite a few signs are affected, to be honest. And also how you can manifest is someone, there can be blockages to activities. We spoke about that, or someone sabotaging you or blocking you, or there might be like you're trying to do something and someone judges whatever you're doing, because Mars is action. We want to go and do something, and Saturn just feels like you're getting a blockage from another, you're getting judged for what you're doing, and you're being told, oh, that's not good enough, try again, you know. And you might have to, you know, work much harder for whatever you want to achieve, to put extra effort. But there is also some positive that can come out of this opposition, and that's, for example, standing up against somebody who suppresses you. Some of you might have been suppressed for a long time by some authority figure, or some depressing or oppressing figure, which is symbolized by Saturn, and Mars opposes Saturn. So you go and stand up for what you believe, or you go and stand up for your rights, and you fight back. So some people that for a long time been suppressed, now is the time to make a confrontation and a stand. I'm usually someone who never fights or never argues, and I'm quite agreeable. I'd much rather swallow something, or much rather, if I go to like from friends, Chandler and Ross went to unsubscribe from the gym, I'll probably end up getting a second subscription to the gym, because I can't really fight for my own things. But for the last few days, I've been much more on the ball and arguing with people and trying to demand my rights and what is mine, and threatening even, which is not typical of me. But this Saturn Mars opposition is giving me this very rare kind of drive to fight, you know, and drive to go for things that I want to extra hard, even despite of the opposition I'm getting. And for some of you, this might be helpful. Sometimes we need to press someone's buttons, and we need to get sometimes upset in order to stand up for ourselves. But people who are naturally more prone to being angry, to being stressed, to being upset, this might not feel so good, and they might have to be careful. You have to be, with Saturn aspecting Mars, you have to be cautious about your actions. You have to make sure that you don't take steps that you regret, that led by anger or by resentment of some sort, because Mars represents anger, Saturn represents resentment, because it can leave a longer term influence if you react too rashly, too spontaneously. Saturn is trying to regulate our actions by slowing us down. So the strategy for the end of this week and the beginning of next week till the middle is be cautious with your actions. Before you react, you know, before you burst out, before you go and shoot the messenger, or before you go and, you know, do something, try to prepare well and try to consider the consequences of your actions, because Saturn will very quickly, if your actions have been aggravating in some way, if they've hurt others, or if they are too rash or impulsive, Saturn will very quickly show you the negative consequences of those actions, because Saturn is karma, reaping what you have sown, and Mars is our action. So in regards to some arguments, in regards to some complicated, stressful situation, be cautious, be patient, be more methodical in your approach, in your action. Maybe try and advise more experienced people, because Saturn is the stronger planet. Saturn is stronger than Mars, and usually a slower moving planet, when it aspects a faster moving planet, tends to trump it, tends to have the upper hand. So it's kind of all the authority figures or people with power can have more, can have the upper hand now, and we have to take into consideration their opinions or their demands and implement them with our actions rather than trying to be rebellious in our own way through Mars. But as I said, it has good way. You can stand against somebody who's trying to suppress you. You can define rules for someone else, you know, because rules for action, because say someone's been going, you know, too crazy doing things you're not upset of, and now you go and tell them, say, it might be even young people, young children, because Mars is this more youthful energy, or it might be someone that works for you, doesn't matter, and they've been wreaking havoc or doing something reckless, and you go there because Mars opposition Saturn, Saturn opposition Mars, you can be the Saturn person, you can say, enough, these are the lines, this is what, these are the defining, you know, you define the rules and you set the rules and you say no more of this foolery here and this foolishness, no more. You might have to restrict someone else's actions, which might be good, might be a child or whatever. But on another level, this opposition can also be good to work under pressure and deadline. You might feel quite stressed, especially those signs that I said, you know, Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, Aquarius, Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. You might feel that you have to work under pressure with some deadlines, but you can get a lot of work done and a lot of constructive and useful work, because Mars is energy and Saturn structures that energy. And Saturn allows us to work even harder, to put much more effort. So some of you might be completing some, you know, some project, and they really have to, they're under pressure on the time limit, and they really have no time, and they have to do much faster the work and much more organized in a sense. So by the end of this transit, you might feel like, whoo, it was a bit intense, but I'm so grateful because I got so much work done and I fixed so many problems. It's time to fix problems as well, because Mars is the problem solver, because Mars is the planet that is full of courage, and it opposes Saturn. So something that has gone wrong, Saturn can be that. Some mistake that's been done, Saturn is this. You might have to fix it right now. So this is another positive aspect how it can manifest. And yeah, so exertion of efforts, hard work of some sort, maybe some confrontation that happens. And maybe let me give you for each sign. If you're Aries or Libra, because it's an opposition, so I'll be doing it with 2 signs at a time. If you're Aries or Libra, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, the Mars Saturn opposition is happening in your 3rd and 9th houses. So there might be clash of opinions with someone, some arguments, standing your ground about what you believe, or someone repressing you about your communication. Or because I'm Aries, I've been feeling it, delays and blockages with matters connected to communication, to information, to media, with anything with writing or speaking, any commercial projects as well, anything to do with traveling or arranging travels of some sort. And there might be some stressful, you know, because 3rd house is communication and 9th house is our beliefs. So there might be more tension there in regards to such matters. If you're Taurus or Scorpio, then it's happening in your 2nd and 8th houses. So Taurus and Scorpio, the Mars-Saturn opposition can trigger arguments about finances or tensions, or having to fix some problem about finances or material or matters of inheritances, matters of assets, matters regarding your values and other people's values, and your assets and other people's assets, very likely. Something of practical, tangible, that requires more of your efforts and harder, create some frustration that you have to work harder on in some way. Then if you're Gemini and Sagittarius, well, everything that we talk, guys, it's regarding you. And especially this can be frustrating coming from other people, because it triggers your 1st and 7th house. So if you're Gemini, maybe you'll be the one that wants to take some actions, and some authority or older figure represented by Saturn in your 7th house might be putting blockages to you, or some kind of rules and regulations, and you might feel suppressed or judged. If you're Sagittarius, Saturn is in your sign in your 1st house, and Mars is in your 7th house, you might be having troubles from some, some troublesome youngsters or more angry, aggressive people in the face of other people. Mars in the 7th house, maybe your partner can be playing out, or maybe clients that are irritating you and that you feel like you have to regulate, that they're going out of control in some way, but someone is pressing your buttons and upsetting you somehow. Then if you are Cancer or Capricorn, this is happening in your 12th and 6th house, Cancer and Capricorn. So there might be something to do, some frustrations that are invisible, that you are not aware of, that come to the surface, or something that some expenses can come. 12th house is connected to expenses, or maybe some psychologically, you might just feel a bit more frustrated. But the 6th house is connected to maybe your health. Maybe mental or psychological health can feel triggered by this opposition in a bit more frustrating way. Also in connection to work and career, because work is the 6th house, so having to fix something that's gotten broken, something that's not working, that you might have to confront it. And 6th house is enemies and confrontations with enemies, so it can indicate that you have to address such competitors or enemies and confront them now. There's no hiding from that, and solve some issues there. And if you are Aquarius and Leo, this is happening, yes, so Leo and Aquarius, this will be happening in your 5th and in your 11th house. So they might be careful with tensions. If you're working with groups of people in some organizations, be careful for tensions, and not to be too reactive with friends, not to be too reactive as well, or frustrations can come to you from such people. And with your children as well, the 5th house is that, or romantic partners is the 5th house, matters of the heart, or maybe some frustrations with some project or some creative project that you're working on that is creating tension in your life of some sort. And if you are Pisces or Virgo, this is happening in your 10th and 4th house. There might be tension, frustrations, and some complications, having to fix problems, or having to work extra hard in regards to your career, in regards to some career projects, or in regards to your family, home, property, maybe something that you have that breaks and you have to repair. That's a bit frustrating. You're waiting for some furniture and it's not coming, or your parents are a bit more upsetting, or your family life is putting pressure on your work life, or your work life is putting pressure on your family life, or some authority figure or parental figure tension there. So it can play in different ways. But of course, let's not focus so much on the negative. It's a fast transit. It's only active for about a week or 10 days. And by the middle of next week, it's falling apart. Just be careful around Monday and Tuesday, and basically Saturday, Sunday this weekend. But we have good news. That because whatever frustrating influence happened by this Mars opposition, Saturn, very quickly after that, it will be resolved, because Mars, the next aspect Mars does, which is on the 31st of May, that would be like by the middle of the week, is Mars makes an easy and helpful aspect to Uranus. And it means that after the disruptive and blocking influence of the Saturn-Mars opposition, there is this gently supportive and liberating influence of Uranus, because Uranus is a liberating planet that will allow us to resolve any complications that happen. It will kind of wash the bitter taste from our mouth, or the more frustrated influence of Mars opposition Saturn, because Uranus is fast-moving planet, and when Mars aspects it, with our own actions, which is Mars, we find creative solutions and ingenious solutions to problems. Saturn with the opposition of Saturn, because Uranus brings a sense of urgency, but it's an easy aspect, and it also brings a brilliant new, like a light bulb on your head, and it gives you almost like intuitive insight what action to take. So you can smooth it out, because the aspect is a sextile. Sextile is an aspect of understanding, of solving conflict, of receiving some support and help of some sort, And so, yes, guys, don't worry. The Uranus will allow us to resolve those complications with fast actions and frustrations and delays. They will be resolved with sudden ease, and with creative solution, which Uranus brings. And this can be also really great in the middle of the week, around the 31st, a day before, a day after, maybe a couple of days before, a couple of days after. So this week, will be great for any work to do with electronics, because Mars is to do some work, to fix something, so if you have to fix something to do with electronics, with internet, with technologies, things will be improved, things will get a resolution by the middle of the week. With machines, it's great for working with machines, for any sports activity as well, and competitive actions, and kind of business, because Mars is this cutthroat planet that goes and competes and resolve problems, and starts new beginnings and new initiatives. From the middle of the week, everything starts flowing smoothly, and it will be great for and positive for risk-taking and adventurous exploit. I'll say from the 30th of May, 31st of May, basically, this week. So first it starts frustrated, and you shouldn't take risks, and there are some complications that come, or some delays or blockages, so having to work extra hard. And then by the 31st of May, you very quickly see positive results. The winds change. You can start taking risks. You can start. There's no blockage to actions anymore, and things start flowing much easier. And the frustrations are resolved, and especially Aries and Scorpio will benefit. Gemini will feel it because it's in their sign. Aquarius, because Uranus is connected to Aquarius. But all signs, they'll see this improvement. And also on the 31st of May, we have the Mercury trine Pluto, guys. So you see, right after the start of the week, which is kind of under the stressful influence of Mars, Saturn, and pressure influence, then we have one after another very positive aspects, like almost like the universe says, I'll test your ass first, and then I'm gonna help you and then I'm gonna open doors for you. And Mercury trine Pluto will be felt by Taurus, by Capricorn very strongly, by Virgo, the 3 earth signs, because it's happening in earth signs, and Gemini as well, because Mercury is ruled by Gemini, and by Scorpio, because Pluto is connected by Scorpio as well. And it's active for a short period. You feel it probably only on the 30th, 31st of May, maybe till the 32nd of May. And what happens is that you can get great mental insights, because Mercury is our mind, and Scorpio aspect trine Mercury makes us very perceptive about subtle untruths, or subtle insights that we are not aware of. And maybe getting insights into secrets, or maybe you can find out some secret information that helps you, for example, into something hidden or forbidden, or some psychological realization that you can have, because Pluto is very psychological. It wants to dig deep, and then your mind becomes very psychologically alert, and making connections, of invisible connections you were not aware from before, and things like, and having deep insight about something. This is a great day in the middle of the week, the 31st of May, also for research, for investigation. If you're doing something, if you're having any exams, your mind is tapping into deeper resources. If you have any important communicative activities, like having to present something online, or to make something to do like speaking or writing, or maybe some work presentation, or if you're working on some project, which is again mental, having to mentally utilize your skills. Mercury is our intellectual skills, our hand skills. Then Pluto gives you, first of all, deep insight, and gives you a very penetrating ability to impact others with your words in a subtle way that's not disruptive to others. Allows for deeper communication, and allows for more powerful insights, and favorable for all business activities overall, because Mercury rules business activities, and negotiations, especially such that are connected with mutual resources or other people's resources, like banks and loans and stuff like that, because Pluto rules all those other people's resources or mutual resources. So great time to do negotiations for resources, for mutual money of some sort, for business activities as well. And matters regarding travel become more supported in some way. Okay, and then we have on Thursday, Venus, the 1st of June, we have Venus trine Saturn, another good aspect, guys. And who feels it? Well, the fire signs feel it, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, because it's happening in fire signs. And also Taurus will feel it, Libra, because Venus rules Taurus and Libra, and Capricorn and Aquarius will feel it very strongly because Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. And that's a positive aspect again, because it's active for 1 or 2 days only. So you see how things like start really lightening up the second part of the week, the 31st of May, the 1st of June. And what happens then is that you have ability to control your emotions better, because Venus is how we express our emotions. Saturn is helping it, allowing us to express our emotions in more constructive, in more controlled way, and to control your desires more easily. Also gives a sense of security in relationships. If there was some kind of lack of clarity about relationships or something, ambiguousness, Saturn will clarify it. Saturn trine Venus will make sure that it's clarified and that you know where you're standing in some business or personal relationship. And it can create more security in your relationships, not necessarily excitement. The excitement comes towards the end of the week when Venus joins Uranus. Then it gets very exciting. But first, creates more security in any kind of relationships, personal, business. And also a partner or a loved one is more likely to help you materialize your plans, because Saturn is the planet of seeing material results, creating something constructively, and Venus is helping you. Loved ones, help us in such way. And also, Venus is the planet of pleasure. What do you enjoy doing? And Saturn is work. So it seems like we're going to be much more in a mood that we're going to be enjoying our, obligations, that taking care of those obligations would derive some source of self-worth and satisfaction. It gives more emotional stability as well. A relationship can get a more serious tone, but in a sense of commitment, deeper commitment of some sort as well. And Venus is our ability to judge situations, to evaluate, because Venus rules Libra and Taurus. Taurus is worth. Libra is like the balance, evaluating. And when Saturn makes a trine to Venus, we have better ability to make accurate judgments. On the 1st of June, maybe a day before, a day after. If you meet a new relationship, if you start a new business relationship or meet a new person, this person might be in your life for a longer period, because Saturn indicates longevity if you meet it around that date, or can help you in some constructive way. And also, we're more willing to follow rules, and we enjoy that. Saturn also rules our workplace and our work routines, and Venus allows to enjoy those relationships at work with authority figure. You can get support from some older figure. You can get some help, which is Venus, from an older figure, from someone in an institution, from someone. So if someone pissed you off, older person, when Saturn opposes Mars at the beginning of the week or the end of this week, then when Venus trines Saturn, you smooth and heal that relationship. You go apologize, or they come and apologize, or if some authority, boss figure, older figure, someone with was stressing you, now you can, or if there was something stressful in your relationship, something you can smooth it out towards the 1st of June with this good aspect between Venus and Saturn. And you also become more balanced emotionally, so that helps with that. And fulfilling your work tasks can make you feel great. It flows. If you have any responsibilities, they should be flowing much more easily around that day with ease. Okay, so, and if you want to make a good impression on everyone, because everyone is tuned into that energy of Venus trine Saturn on that day, on the 1st of June, dress down in more conservative way, in more business way. This is how you're going to approach people, in more polite, in more classical way with your behavior and looks. People resonate to that vibration that day, so it will come out better for you. But by the end of the week, this changes on the 3rd of June, which is Saturday. So maybe on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, well, Venus is conjunct Uranus. And, that's after the stability of Venus Saturn, we get excitability in our feelings. So we get, we get much more socially active. Venus conjunct Uranus. First, Saturn can make us more cautious socially, more classically behaving in social situations, more looking for etiquette. But towards the end of the weekend, all barriers fall down. You might end up dancing naked on the table, of course not, but you can do something more crazy in social situations. But it's exciting. It creates, you can meet new friends, and you can fall in exciting social situations. You can enjoy something that you learn as well, because Uranus is like getting new information of any sorts, exciting information. And Venus, you know, it's very enjoyable energy. And we're making the webinar with Nicole on the 4th of June. So hopefully lots of exciting astrological, enjoyable astrological information you can learn. And what you can expect is unexpected, pleasant surprises, because Venus is something pleasant and Uranus is something unexpected. So towards the end of the weekend, unexpected, pleasant surprise, unexpected, pleasant relationships, or even meeting someone new, very exciting, that opens new vistas towards you or makes you feel more, bring some renewal into you, bring some excitability into your life. Also, it's a good time to give freedom to your partner. Let your hair down in relationships as well, in social circumstances. Don't be so constricted and so, you know, old school. And you can even dress zany and do more progressive fashion. Put on your, you know, cool clothes on the weekend. Put on your hipster outfit after this Venus trine Saturn office wear. Put on your, you know, hippie wear or hipster wear, whatever, you know. And you can feel more excitable in romantic situations. You can have a date with a new exciting person, you know, rather than old. And increase emotionality. Emotionally, we become more volatile. But I still think that the Saturn trine is active. So even though we might do a bit more crazy things, we'll still have a sense of decency, not to rub people wrongly. But if you're going to parties, they'll be super exciting. You'll meet lots of new people towards the end of the week. And you can have new original ideas for earning money as well, because Venus is money, sources of income. Uranus is new, crazy ideas, new, exciting ideas. It can be a good day for anything to do, new ideas in regards to fashion, in regards to design. If you're a designer, if you work in any Venus industries, which is giving advice, helping others, nurse, massage, beauty industry, fashion industry, working with women, designing anything artistic, creative, you can get bright new ideas about your business or about something in regards to your work. So that's good, you know, watch out for those ideas. You can receive nuggets of precious information from the universe. New ideas about fashion, design, beauty, art, you know. It can also spur you. People feel much more inclined to change their appearance when Venus conjuncts Uranus. And they can, you know, so maybe some of us need that push to change our appearance in some way. So yeah, that's about it. The unstable influence of this is that you can have a bit, you know, extreme emotional reactions. And there might be some unexpected events with your partner out of the blue, or with partnerships in your life. And you can feel a bit more nervous, tensions, anxious energy. But remember in that interview what Edwina said, when you're feeling nervous and anxious, is the same hormones are triggered as when you're feeling excited. So tell to yourself, if you're feeling nervous or anxious, I'm feeling excited. Actually, you're feeling excited, but you don't realize it. You're excited for whatever that you're nervous about. And there might be some stressful communication with women, or unplanned expenses, because Venus is money, remember, and Uranus is something unplanned, so be careful. But mostly it will bring new ideas in regards to money, in regards to Venusian things. So that's my weekly horoscope for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I will be back next week with the weekly horoscope. For even though I scared you at the beginning with the Saturn-Mars opposition, then I gave you lots of good news. So don't worry, the week progressively improves. A lot of people had some difficulties the last week and the start of this one, but don't worry, it's almost like everything gets resolved after that pretty fast. So thank you so much. Come join me to All About Taurus on the 28th of May, or on the Secrets of the 30 Astrological Degrees with me and Nicola Stojanovic on the 4th of June. Looking forward to see you. Check my old classes as well. We have lots of classes that we're offering on astrolada.com if you want to learn astrology with me or some of the amazing astrologers on my website. So Thank you, and I will see you next week.